Welcome back to Movie in the Hunt, the most bi-friendly podcast of horror that you'll find anywhere. I'm RJ.
I'm Paige.
And today we are watching The Thing.
The Thing.
Yes, it's The Thing's second cousin.
Yeah.
Twice removed.
From 1982.
God.
Yeah.
You know what's the saddest thing?
Hmm.
This is the best we're going to get John Carpenter. Everything else, now from here on out, it's downward. You're going to be like, it wasn't as good as The Thing.
Just wasn't.
It wasn't as good.
Didn't hit like that.
Halloween was great. It wasn't as good as The Thing.
So I'm...
In the Mouth of Madness was weird, but not as good as The Thing.
I've never seen this movie. That's a big failure on my part. But I'm excited. I've heard good things about it. My dad likes it. Kurt Russell's in it? Yes. And he's mighty fine in the 80s, so I'm excited for that.
I was like, this stars Kurt Russell, which means there's a good chance you're probably into him.
Oh, absolutely.
At this time frame.
Correct.
You like him. I like his son.
There we go.
Working our way down. I've seen this movie one time. It was fantastic.
How long ago?
3 years.
Oh, okay. Fairly recent.
It's been time. It's been... Best I can say it is like, I know what's going to happen, but enough time has passed to where I can't recall the exact moment in which the dime's going to drop. Which is good. I don't want to know, like, oh, and this is the moment when this happens at this exact part of the score, because then it just ruins it for me. But it's been a whole month. That's right. All of October we didn't record.
Which is crazy for a horror podcast.
I had a vacation. Last episode we recorded, you were on a vacation.
Correct.
So it kind of just went from you to me.
Yeah.
While we were gone, we had our second anniversary.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. Hooray for us.
Ooh.
For committing for 2 years.
Astounding.
Thought we would have stopped. When did the last Friday episode come out?
like a month in.
I thought we would have stopped then, because that took some shit out
That
of
was
us.
trying.
And this is episode 40.
Nice.
2 years, 40 episodes later.
That's nuts.
Hello, us. Now, the reason why I am padding for time, I made an executive decision, and we're not watching the trailer.
Yes.
Because I don't want you to know anything.
And I'm happy with that. I think this is one of those movies where not knowing is the best way. I know a general, like, what's going to happen, but I really don't want to see anything.
Now, before we started, let's acknowledge we're watching. You already said we're watching The Thing. We're not watching The Thing with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
No, we are not.
No, it's not a bad movie. I will say that right now. It's not bad. It's just very. I feel like there was another movie in the past we talked about it where we were like, it's the most 7 out of 10 movie. It checks every box to be a 7 out of 10, but it doesn't check any box that would make you want to give it a 7.5 or an 8. It just really is a 7 movie.
Which, again, is not bad. It's just average. Or it's slight above average.
Yeah. And also, it's kind of boring because, it's the entire time you're watching it, like, yes, this is very solid. It's a solid movie, but it's not doing or trying anything to try to get above solid territory. This movie, on the other hand, is like, so we're going to start, shit's going to be on fire, and as we go along, shit's going to continue to be on fire.
Love it.
The best way I described this movie was, first time I watched it, I didn't realize until like halfway through the movie that my body was so tense since the beginning of the movie. Like, the movie doesn't work on a factor of like tension of like 0 to 10. I kind of say like 10 is the default this movie goes with on its tension, and then you're like factoring between 10 and 15 the entire time.
Wow.
It doesn't work on jump scares. It just works on, it's very it's very whodunit. But the thing is, if you get it wrong, somebody's getting eaten.
Right. There's a high risk, high reward going on.
I say high. You say high risk, high reward. I say high risk, and as you see when they even get the guess right, very low reward.
Cool. Well, I'm really excited. Let's get to it, I guess.
Yep, I don't know which version of the movie we're watching, so we'll be back between 1 and 2 hours.
And for you, 2 seconds. Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. Yeah. We watched the movie.
Yes, we did.
It was a great movie.
Yes, it was very enjoyable. And that's the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. We hope you had a great time with us.
And go watch it. No, but it was really good.
It was a good movie. So, let's start at the beginning. I am now going to spend the next hour describing the prequel to you, so then we can go through the actual movie.
We don't have to do that.
Starting now.
Okay.
There was a bunch of Swedish people, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead was also there. I can't quite remember if she was Swedish or if she was just like American in a Swedish place. I don't remember. Either way, she gets into an action fight on a spaceship. And then, as the movie ends...
This one begins.
Yes, I believe she's in a tractor at the end of the last movie. Like, she's like isolated in a tractor.
Okay.
Alone. So she probably freezes to death.
Probably.
And then these guys are like, there's one more, which makes me think there were multiple things in the last movie, but they were very alien-y. Like, they were just aliens. And there's like the dog, and then it ends, and then this is where this movie begins. All right, it's been an hour.
Okay.
Hope you loved it.
Great. We survived.
Also, fun fact about the last movie. I just want to piss you off.
Great. Also,
So,
what was with her? She did like a bunch of prequels in like a short span of time. Is that maybe that's just what her manager signed her up for?
They're like, listen, you can etch your name into history.
There you go.
These movies are probably going to be completely mediocre or suck ass, one of the two. But it's history.
Her Cloverfield was pretty decent. Not great, but pretty decent.
She was 10 Cloverfield Lane,
Yeah.
right? Okay. But you ready to get pissed off?
Sure.
In the 2011 one, by the way, I'm just going to note now, I have like crackling going on in my headphones. Don't ask me why. So I'm probably going to be pissy.
Okay.
Like, oh, actually, you know what? Live on air. There we go. Better. So, the last movie, or the 2011 one, they did all the scenes practical, and then the studio execs forced them to do them as digital instead.
I feel like you did tell me this before about this
Yes.
movie. Oh, God.
Yes.
And I did get pissed off just as I am right now.
Imagine that. You did, like, it was shot. Like, everything was physical. And then they were like, actually, just do it digital instead.
I would have.
And make it look worse.
I would have been furious as everyone involved. Holy shit.
Yeah. However, this movie begins with a very bottom-heavy helicopter. Well, false. This movie starts with a handy cam.
Yeah, handy cam right off the bat, and then the helicopter comes across the mountain range.
And a doggy.
See, you know what?
With Paige's favorite breed, the husky.
Yeah, it's a great breed. It's not my favorite, but it's great.
I thought you said you hated them.
No,
Because of how they sound like humans.
no, I never said that.
Or how they like whine. Like when
Yeah,
they get very
they
whiny.
are very loud. For some reason, I thought this dog was running like it was with people, and it was running to go get help type of thing. But that clearly was not the case.
This dog was like, I need new breeding companions now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fuck this helicopter.
As much
So
as
if
I
I'm
would
nearest-
want to.
I am now assault helicopter. Come to my island. However, basically, these two guys who are Swedish.
Norwegian.
One of the European types of people are like, shoot it with a sniper. And here's the thing. The first, I said while we were watching, the first 10 shots, I could give them...
leeway.
I'll give them leeway. It was far. It's a helicopter. Things are shaky.
There's wind,
dog's very
ice,
slippery.
snow.
I get it. But when the dog is right underneath you...
just chilling. Like, he was doing a very slow jog at that point.
And you miss 3 shots? 3? My body was so repulsed it just burped. Listen, I'm just going to say it. Maybe you deserve to get shot in the eye.
And then we have grenades and throw it 500 feet away from your target.
That was the precursor to John Carpenter being like, listen, this is the first of many explosions.
I'm just excited to do explosions.
But wait like an hour and 40 more minutes before I actually get to the explosion part.
There was a lot of fire in between, so...
There was. But I will say, the last 10 minutes of this movie, I really don't like. I think it gets too action-y. Which is a very John Carpenter thing.
Mm-hmm.
It gets very action-y towards the end of his movies. Like, unnecessarily action-y. Either way, cut to odd blue-eyed himself.
Kurt.
RJ McCready.
Or Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. We'll just be calling him Kurt
Absolutely.
Russell, let's be honest.
With his
here.
beautiful, luscious hair, his beautiful blue eyes, his very thick eyelashes.
I get it.
Good.
You know what? I was going, I get it. He's perfect, but he had a droopy ass, so he ain't perfect.
That's fine.
And he had... Listen. Whenever Kurt Russell was on the screen, he had... I'm just going to say, I'm going to go back to the Oscars, and if, giant fucking stupid cowboy hat did not win best... supporting actor that year, robbed.
So, when you're doing a film or anything like that, your characters should have a definitive silhouette, which means it's a good character design. They knocked it out of the park.
They're like, listen, just give him the cowboy hat, comparative of a dunce cap. Just put that on him. It was... Okay, here's the thing. We saw it on the back of him. By the way, he's so underdressed. He has
it was bothersome.
Basically a thermal shirt. He has you see his underwear, and I'm like, listen, I don't care that I can see your underwear. If this was another movie, I'd just be like, oh, look, Kurt Russell's whitey tighties. Whoop, whoop. But when you're in the Arctic and I'm seeing your underwear, you don't have enough clothes on.
Yeah. Sometimes, not just him, but a few other characters seemed underdressed, and I was like, unrealistic.
My favorite part is everyone's just bundled up at the beginning, and he's like, I got a motorcycle jacket. Keeping warm. And no hat. My hair keeps me warm.
It's so luscious and fluffy.
Listen, Rose, he was not. He was not Rose, I believe was her name, from Silent Hill. And she was like, you know what I'm going to do? Not shower for 3 months. This guy looked like he got freshly shampooed and conditioned every shot he came into.
But they get a rude awakening. The dog runs into their camp, and this Norwegian Swedish guy comes yelling at them with guns and starts shooting at them. Shoots one of them.
I think the coolest fun fact is, if I remember correctly, in the movie that leads up to this, he's the only non-English speaking one in the group.
What do you mean?
In the 2011, he's the only one who does know how to speak English.
Really? Well. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I do find it interesting. I was like, it sucks because if I remember correctly, all the other ones were speaking fluently English, and the one who couldn't is the one that
of course
has to do this. I mean, there was another guy, but he was like, whoops, I dropped a grenade. Let me dig for it.
Next to a helicopter. full
was
of
like a
kerosene.
Three Stooges bit. Either way, they're all like, what the fuck is he saying? He doesn't speak American. This is the U.S. This is U.S. We speak American here. And then he starts shooting at the dog, shoots a dude in the knee, and then they're like, oh, fuck, he's crazy.
He's Looney Tunes.
And then the creepy blue-eyed guy. By the way, I just go off of everybody in this movie having like separate versions of blue eye. So there's Kurt Russell blue eye, there's creepy man blue eye with the gray eyebrows, just a nightmare creature.
I called him Sheriff. He's like an old
He
sheriff
looked
type.
like I was like, if I had to describe a skinwalker, that.
Yeah. But
Blue eyes, gray eyebrows, obviously dyed hair.
he got a really good shot at it, and he shot him right through the eye.
Right in the eyeball. Ooh, but I just want to talk about one thing. The best thing on Kurt Russell's character. His glasses.
Oh, I do love his glasses. They're great.
He has great glasses.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now back to the dead Norwegian dude.
There you go.
He's dead.
Very dead. He's a little twitchy.
I was like, damn, it's snow. And like, oh, he fell in snow. That must not hurt. Listen, that's a lot of snow.
And like solid.
Yeah, and he face planted.
Yeah. It was good.
And also, snow burns when you fall into it, like face first. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
It had to suck. And then out comes this. I thought he was going to sound a little nerdy. I thought he was going to be like, I got a dog. But it's the most burly sounding voice of this entire movie.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily what his job was. I guess just dog wrangler, probably. Whatever you. But he obviously takes to the dog, and they're like, okay, you're shooting a dog. What? They think he went crazy, like stir crazy or something like that, which happens seems pretty frequently.
Wasn't Stir Crazy the name of a restaurant?
Probably.
I have a sneaking suspicion I think it was an Asian restaurant, which is a little oof.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gone now. It's where we live.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like where we live, which makes it even worse because of where we live. However, they're like, oh, they find the camp where this dude is from. I'm just skipping from past the beginning because our budget's about to be used in one space, basically, is what I'm going to say. They're just like, we're going to go. And they go to McCready and they're like, fly us. And he's like, let me put on my fucking cowboy hat real quick.
I need it to drive.
Oof. The best way I could put it is Kurt Russell's character looks like when you play an MMORPG and you're just leveling up and putting whatever the fuck you have on right now because it's like the highest stat gear you have.
So true.
Kurt Russell's character.
I may look like an idiot, but I have the strongest gear in the game.
Listen, fashion doesn't happen till end game. We're still in the campaign. Either way, they fly, and you get to see Kurt Russell's silhouette. I'm like, no matter what happens on this screen, I know where he is. Because I just look for the Conehead.
But
and he will be found.
We get to the Norwegian base, and this is a gorgeous set. Stunning.
How much of the budget was used in this 5 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, one, it's a big space. Two, there's a lot going on, and we get our first dead body besides the one outside. And
we got our first 2 dead bodies.
Yeah, but this is a shocker. Holy shit.
So first things first, everything has frozen over, which means every prop needs to have, like the draft of the snow has come in. The amount of time the prop makers had to spend on this entire place is probably a nightmare.
And having to be consistent with the direction the snow was coming in from. Oh, God.
And also, this would have been easier if it wasn't supposed to look like this place got like a group of fucking polar bears just went in and savaged it.
Absolutely.
It looked destroyed, which means you now have to make this place look destroyed,
but safe.
look natural, but the actors have to use it.
Right, exactly.
They find a guy, and this is probably one of the coolest shots, probably.
It blew me away when I saw this.
If I have to guess, I don't remember in the movie if he thought it was inside of him, so he cut himself, or if he was like, I don't want to die like this, so I'm going to do it my own way.
Yeah, either way.
Either way, yeah.
Doing it to himself. Holy shit.
He does his
Neck and arms.
But the blood has frozen over where it was dripping, and it's so good.
It's so good. The shot with his neck slice, it looks like the head is almost decapitated too from the weight of the head. It's just a moment frozen in time, and I would love to know the behind the scenes of making this.
Fun fact, the last movie took place in this base.
Oh.
Yeah. Either way, like a few seconds later, McCready's like, I found a giant ice cube.
An empty ice cube.
I'm the smart one of the group.
So let's just go over it now because we'll find out later when they take the tape from this place. These guys found a spaceship that was from this guy estimated, minimum 100,000 years before?
I don't think the spaceship came yet.
I know. I'm just talking about it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we'll just get it over with. So the ice cube came from the spaceship and did what it did to their base, but we don't know what it was or if it did anything.
If I remember correctly, it doesn't come from the spaceship.
Well, like the spaceship's there, but
Yeah, I think they get the thing first, and then the thing goes to the spaceship and starts to activate it, and then Mary Elizabeth Winstead's like, I'm the hero, so I'm going to deactivate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's very action-y.
Okay.
The next one's super, like, sci-fi action.
Well, in this one, it comes from the spaceship. So.
Well, John Carpenter's wrong.
Yeah, okay. You go tell him that.
Sir, you're wrong. You know those Halloween movies you also released recently, the new ones, outside of 2018? You were wrong. You should not have produced that shit, sweetie. But yeah, they're just like, oh, and then all they see is smoke, and then some ooey, gooey, morphed bodies.
Yeah, I think that's a good description. Ooey gooey, frozen / burnt, smoky bodies. One body, multiple bodies.
It's one body. Like all the blood is like, it's frozen over like the other guy, but it's all, you can tell it's like visibly gooey. And I remember I was like, oh God, what happens when it thaws out? And then we saw what happens when it thaws out, and it's like, oh God, it's thick.
And of course, being who they are and trying to make this movie happen, and they bring it back to their camp to autopsy it.
Imagine. The best part was when they bring it back, everyone in the room's like, ugh, gross, vomit. And I'm like, okay, so I get it, yeah. But also, 3 of you were just in a tightly compact helicopter
with this
thing. I want to see the inside of your helicopter.
Yeah.
Real quick. Where's the vomit?
Please tell me you leaned over the side. Please, God.
Oh, man. Because everyone in the room's like, ew, gross, sickening. It's smoking still. It's still smoking. Oh,
but
it was gross.
The practicals of this is really, really nice. The face is 2 but 1. It's twisted. The rest of the body is in some sort of action pose, trying to like.
My favorite thing was
out.
like the one eye.
Yeah, the one eye that's staring. The other one's kind of like folded. And when they do the autopsy, we go inside, and it's all regular human organs for the most part. But then there's dog too.
Well, I don't think there's dog yet. Dog happens next.
Okay, because I thought there was also dog in this one. Or
Okay.
some sort of
Maybe
animal,
I missed
maybe.
it. I might have missed it
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, if we're being honest. They're like, it's a gerbil.
Those pesky little things.
Either way, eventually, I'll just note it. We're like yada yada yada. Skip some stuff. Kurt Russell plays chess at the beginning of the movie.
Right. I mean,
He gets angry. He breaks the machine. So inconvenient.
oh,
But he's hot, so you
yeah.
know, it's okay. One of them tells like the dog dude, like, put that fucking dog away, please. It's annoying for some reason.
Yeah, because it's roaming and doing its own thing. Oh, but we did note right before this, because it was walking around the dog. It was creepy enough, but also dog-like enough, where you're like, this is a little strange, but it's not. And we mentioned how good the dog acting was.
I really don't like. There's a scene where the dog's walking around and goes into the room to like allude, like, oh, he's getting alone with somebody. And I hate how silent it was. Like, not in a bad way. I mean, like, in a good way. I hated how quiet it was.
Let's talk about that real quick, because there was a few moments, I think right after when they shot the guy, too, in the beginning, just to grow more tension. But I'm not surprised. It's a John Carpenter directed film. He knows how to use sound very well. But when you're trying to build tension, often nowadays they'll use scores to, increase frequency and try to get you on edge. But sometimes less is more, and they do that really well in this film quite often without any sound.
Do you think John Carpenter is a better composer or director?
That's a very good question. I know there's probably been a lot of discussion about that.
Because while I was on vacation, I forgot to bring any of my streaming stuff. So I watched AMC. I will let you know I saw Halloween 2 5 times in 2 days. And I saw Halloween 3 3 times.
Oh my goodness.
Halloween 1 was not played.
Oh, they didn't get the rights probably.
And like, I will say, because like even the movies, because Halloween 2 is regarded as like probably not one of his good movies. Even some of his not best movies, because because it took me around the third time to start appreciating Halloween 2. Maybe I Stockholm Syndrome myself into liking it. There is a chance. But I was like, this isn't bad. It's just
weird.
Yeah, that's John Carpenter.
Yeah.
He's just very weird.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He might not be your cup of tea, but I think overall he is a very talented director, and he does know what he's doing. He's just weird, and that's fine, especially in this genre.
Yeah, great creative.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, music and directing across the board.
Either way, they like put the dog away, and the other guy's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Real quick, if you haven't watched the movie and you plan on doing that, just letting you know there is a lot of animal body horror and death. So if that's not your thing, do not watch this.
It's mostly like in this part of the movie.
Yeah, I would say for this 20 minutes-esque, 15, 20 minutes-esque, still, I wouldn't watch this for you if I were you.
Yeah. The dog goes in, and the dog's like very like, hello, fellow dogs.
Yeah. I am a dog, just like you. Woof, woof.
A woof, a woof. Now let me lay and stare.
And prepare.
Because what's going to happen next is the moment. There was a moment before and after I saw Paige sit at her chair, and then literally, I thought maybe her computer was fucked up for a little bit. Then I was like, oh no, she's just that close to the screen currently. Because like she just like leaned in. This is where the leaning started to get, like it started. And by the time we get to the interrogation scene later on, that's the point where she has like her blanket. She's like leaned over, and I'm like, that feels like that's defeating the purpose of the blanket. Because like, would the blanket fall? But this is where it begins. However, this is disgusting and very jarring. So she had to kind of process what was going on that screen.
Yeah, I think I wasn't expecting for it to be this gross. So when it did happen, like basically out of nowhere, I was like, oh my God. And okay, real quick about the dog scene. I thought it was a very interesting idea that the dog, quote unquote dog, wasn't detected by the other dogs until it started to act weird. I think that goes to show how good its imitations are of whatever it's imitating, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty gross. I think the worst part is probably when it spits its acid at the real dog. I hated it.
My favorite part is when its head blossoms like a flower, and then its true form comes.
It's just so beautiful. If you,
It starts, it like lets out like little wires, and it's just like, come to me, my children.
and the noises with the wires is like, you know.
Yep. He thought the dog was gonna get out because he's like chewing at the thing,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "You stay, squirt."
I don't know if this is a real reference or not, but if you ever played or watched, I guess now because it's a TV show, The Last of Us, the clickers look a lot like these creatures,
Yes.
which is really cool.
My favorite thing is later on in the movie, one of the characters kills the rest of the dogs.
Yeah.
Now you know why he killed the dogs.
What do you mean?
Because the dude who killed the dog was a thing.
Right.
He killed the dog because the dogs can sniff him out.
Oh, I understand. Yes. That
Yeah.
went over my head. Yes, you are absolutely correct.
A lot of the actions taken by the thing in like retrospect makes a lot of sense because it's doing every little thing to make sure it can't get caught. And then McCready's like, you don't get it. I've replaced all my blood with Smirnoff vodka. I'm crazy.
And I haven't slept in weeks.
Give me the flamethrower and some wire.
Okay.
Slit your thumbs open. I'm setting your blood on fire.
This is perfectly sane. It's just another Tuesday for McGrady. I do want to say, I do appreciate how fast he works on this. He's not like, huh? What's going on? Oh, maybe this is just a weird coincidence. What's happening? Blah, blah, blah. No, he immediately pulls the fire alarm, is like, get the fucking torch.
So when everyone wakes up, I'm pretty sure one of them was Winnie the Poohing. And it was very visible. I was like, wait, does he have underwear on? Like, it got very distracting from the rest of the scene. I was like, I need to know. Does this dude have underwear on? I'm pretty sure he didn't. But everyone wakes up and he's like, tell Childs, flamethrower. I'm like, wow, we're jumping straight to the flamethrower.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Either way, though, the dog is like, hi.
Oh.
Can you come back in like 5 minutes, please?
I'm in the middle of something.
I'm undressed. Come back, please. And then he shoots the dogs. And then he accidentally shoots one of the actual dogs that was like tied up.
I don't think he accidentally did. I think he thought it was coming from it or it was going to it, so he killed it.
And then the other dude's like, no, the dog. He had a very unhealthy connection to the dogs.
Yeah, he really did.
I will say it. It was unhealthy. But the thing is like, that's it. That's just gonna be enough time to tentacle to the walls like The Grudge.
That was cool shit. This was, again, the practicals throughout the entire movie were really, really good. I want to know the budget just for the practicals. That would be nice.
And then McCready's like, Childs, set it on fire.
Yeah, and he does.
Do it. Do it. And it gets out on fire. And then they're like, you know what we're going to do? By the way, I would have let that thing burn for like a minute.
Yeah.
They set it on fire and they instantaneously put it out.
Yeah, but the problem is everything in there was extremely flammable. There was a bunch of wood and hay, so that would have caught everything on fire.
I think that's worth the risk.
Ah, I see.
I mean, listen, they end up blowing up the entire base in like 2 hours.
While they were doing this too, the flamethrower, some of it got away. So
Yep.
now we have two things.
They bring the dog in for a C-section.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was basically a C-section because they were like, look, the baby dog. And also, I love that when they split it open, if you looked at where the hands were touching, you can see the black foam padding.
Oh, I didn't see. Cool.
Yeah. There's like, one of the layers was black foam padding. You can kind of see it. And I was like, oh, that's cool how they
That is neat.
shaped it. Either way, they were like, it's the birth of life of a fucked up dog looking thing.
And also alien. Like the face is morphed. It looks very, classic alien-esque. It's green. It's icky. It's gooey.
It was in the process of shape-shifting. Yeah. Unfortunately, it died, so now it's kind of just like fucked up.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it could be any of us. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. And that's the movie. We try to figure out who done it.
Oh, sorry. Either way, now they're like, okay. We had a conversation with some dude. I call him Specs because like I think he was like the only one with glasses. He's around for like a hot dog and a handshake because he gets set on fire in like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the red beard.
Yeah. Either way, they're like, put the dog away. Oh, no, did they put the dog away or did they put the dude away?
The dude away.
Okay. He gets all droopy.
Yeah.
And then he kills other Redbeard.
Yeah. It's pretty gross.
And then one of them has a axe and he's like, I'm going to destroy this puke-infested helicopter.
Well, he's starting to go crazy. Which turns out to be he's actually a thing. So.
Yeah.
This whole time.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
He's like
it's pretty.
They're
obvious.
thinking he's just lost it because of the whole situation, which I get, but it's like, he knows a little too much.
So, I'm gonna boom 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 right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
We go in. He's like, ha! And they're like, let's do sabotage. And Childs is like, hey. And then he shoots 6 shots at Childs. And then this is the moment where Childs like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. Either way, he gets locked up alone in a cabin.
Oh, yeah, the tool shed that they reinforced.
Yep. Then they're like, we have to go find this other guy. He's set on fire. Who did that? Oh my god, McCready's clothes are ripped. Nasty. He must be the thing. Then McCready's like, I'm not the thing, but if you think I am, I'll blow everybody up.
Yeah, so
and that's not helping your cause.
They went out to his shed, or his watchtower, whatever the hell. Him and Nos, I think his name was. Something like that. The cook. They come back Nos comes back 45 minutes later. He's like, I found his clothes ripped, blah, blah, blah. It's him. They lock him out. And I think this is where I think the costuming for Kurt Russell was really, really good at this point. Very iconic. He's extremely pale. His eyes are like sunken in. He's frostbitten and he looks absolutely crazy. And his blood is full of Smirnoff.
By the way, I just want to go back to one thing because I remember you and I really were like, okay, this is taking a little bit too long. Where they were like, invader cell, dog cell, assimilation.
the crazy state of the art computer. What is it called? Like a computer. Like simulation type of thing.
It was.
It's 1982. I get it, but come on.
I just love how it's just like assimilation, full assimilation of dog cell, complete. And it's like, okay. Chance that there is somebody here who is a thing, 75%.
I feel like this wasn't needed because they literally talked about this right before the scene. This was a waste of time.
All right, back to McCready threatening to blow himself up.
Oh yeah, he's got a bunch of dynamite now, and a flare.
And he's like, everybody, tie yourselves up. Oh no! First he's like, oh god, this dude who's been here for like 5 minutes is having a heart attack. Oh no. My favorite part was like when they were voting for a new leader, they were like, what about this guy? And you and I were like, who the fuck? Who? What?
I was like,
when?
I've never seen this man before.
I've never heard his name, let alone seen of him. And then Childs is like, I'll be the leader. And the dude with the knife was like, probably secretly very racist.
Yes.
is like, no. And then McCready's like, it's me.
We all knew it's gonna be me.
I'm the main character here. This is my story. You're all living in it. Either way, other guy has a scalpel. He's like, I'm gonna attack him because reasons. And the other guy's getting defibbed.
Oh, this is
Final
a cool scene.
defib. The final defib, he gets his hands chewed off.
Oh man, and I had a feeling we were gonna be getting like an Alien chest burster scene, because Alien came out 3 years before this movie, and we definitely did. Holy shit, this was really good.
This wasn't one of the scenes that got me. There were two scenes in this movie where I know I jumped. It was the dog first, where the dog jumps out, like it kicks the thing open and starts to run when like two of the dogs escape. That caused me to jump. And here's the thing. This next scene made me jump even the first time I watched it. Was when they were doing the blood scene and the blood explodes when they do that. That actually, I visibly jumped on that
me
one.
too.
I think it's because it was so sudden. It was like, oh, yeah, it's you.
And you're not expecting, like, you don't know how the blood's going to react, just like they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, this chest burster scene, really awesome. It chops off the doc's hands / arms, and they burn it to the fucking ground.
But its head rips itself off.
Oh, it was so cool. I really want to know how they did it while it was crawling, because the mouth and eyes were moving too. It's very nice.
And then it turned into... Well, first it used its tongue to, like, Spider-Man onto a chair. And then it was like, now I'm head crab. And the best part, you're like, how the fuck can nobody hear this? Which, you're right.
It's groaning and, like, making crawling noises, and it's goopy.
But the best part is, like, the shot where they're in the foreground, it's in the background. All you see is this, like, little head body just scurry away.
That was good.
And then it gets on fire. You're like, thank you for the one comedy scene in this entire
Yeah.
movie. Once all this happens, they go to what is, I will say, my favorite scene, which is the blood scene.
Yeah. It's the most iconic, too.
Yeah. So... McCready is as pale as he's ever been. He's as Smirnoff-y as you'll ever get. And he's like, I have this copper wire that I've been shaving with a knife for the last, like, 20 minutes. We're going to test your blood. I'm going to set this on fire, make it very hot, and then I'm going to run it. Your blood's going to want to survive if you're the thing. So it's going to squelch. Now, here's the thing. I give him credit because this dude was drunk enough and out there enough to be like, listen, put your blood in the cup and then I'm going to flame it, throw it. If your blood screams,
you're done.
Then you're the thing.
I mean, you can't argue with a guy who's crazy, sleep deprived, drunk, and has a flamethrower. There's no winning that argument.
Does he still have the gun at this point as well?
Probably.
I remember there was one scene where he was walking. He has a knife. There was one scene he was walking around and he had a complete belt of bullets just around him. And I was like, yeah, I think you're putting too much you're putting too much trust into this dude right now. Because even if he's not the thing, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
And considering how he was acting when he was fine, he wasn't there to begin with.
But overall, this was a really good scene. Very high tension. Very high tension.
Yes. Bitch Boy goes first.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not the thing, of course. Why would he? McCready's like, no, for what I knew all along, I'm not the thing. And he span over the child's face, and he's just like,
you motherfucker.
This is stupid.
The child has been over this since like the first 20 minutes of this fucking movie.
He doesn't want to be here. Up next is Oh, he does the two. It's like, dude, the two dead dudes next.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because the dude who got his hands cut off, that's definitely one of the things. And then the other one, honestly, I wouldn't have wanted to do it because if he wasn't a thing, that looks really bad on me.
Yeah, exactly. So Child calls him a murderer after that.
And then the Skinwalker's like, this is stupid. And he's like, oh, well, first we're going to do curls over here with the California denim jacket. But I know you're the thing. And then he touches the blood and it just jumps.
And it was so nonchalant too. He wasn't really focused on him or his blood at all. He was just like, okay, let's do it so we can get to the old man. And then it jumps. Yeah, that was really good.
And then the camera pans and the face blossoms. Mm-hmm. The eyes bulge.
The blood everywhere.
And it turns into a Venus death trap.
Yes. Yeah.
Basically.
It's crazy. And it's trying to get off the couch too. Ooh.
Yep. And then McCready's like, my flamethrower is malfunctioning. Oh no.
Windows goes.
And he's like,
yeah, Windows goes after it with the other flamethrower. He gets completely chomped on.
Well, he stalls. He gets like, he's just like,
yeah.
And then he gets his face chomped on.
Yeah, and the rest of his body. He's pretty fucked up.
He gets ragdolled.
He does literally ragdolled.
And then eventually the flamethrower works, and he's like, set it on fire. And he does. And then the dude runs around, set on fire. Like someone in a flame suit runs around, goes outside, it's on fire.
I'm always really impressed when stunt actors do that.
I always find the thing that's really impressive is that it's incredibly cold for them because of the
protection
gel they put on them. Yeah, like it makes them it's actually like incredibly frigid for them. It's not hot for them. Which some would say is worse.
Yeah, right.
Either way, McCready's like, I'm not doing this. Napalm bomb. Explosion. One shot, one kill.
That's the motto he lives by.
And then the bitch boy starts to come back to life.
Yeah, and he was all icky and gross and bloody. It was pretty sad. His hands were starting to change too, if you noticed.
Yes. I did.
And he kind of curls up into himself. His legs curl up to him when he gets put on fire. Like a flower, like, plants.
Yep.
Very cool.
And then he dies. Even though I think the scene that scared you the most was the ginger dude. When he was the thing and he runs into the snow and his hands are all malformed and he makes like that shrieking sound.
It was because you're not expecting the shrieking sound, I think. Because all I could imagine when I was watching this is being in these guys' situations, and I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
I would cry.
Yeah, I would cry and shit myself and just be in a corner.
I would be like Childs, but I would be more frantic. I'm like, this is stupid. I want to get out of here. It's fucking cold.
We wouldn't be as cool as Childs.
And then, we do the final blood, and Child's just like, can you get me the fuck out of here? And then that's it. It's our final stand time. Well, false. They go take the other guy. The other guy is,
gone. He went downstairs under the tool shed. Oh, look at that. He's building a spaceship. Crazy.
And they're like, okay, here we go. Final stand. And this is where I will note I do start to check out. It's like these 10 minutes I always check out in. This movie is so slow and it's tense and it's like all this stuff and then it just turns into action explosions.
I feel like he didn't know or they didn't know how to end it.
How to end it?
Yeah, that seems to always be his downfall.
The only one he knew how to end well was Halloween. And that was because Halloween was supposed to be what he's doing now with that TV show.
Yeah.
It was just supposed to be an anthology. So, yeah, and if you've seen anthologies, they always end in like this open-ended kind of thing. So Halloween ended very well for that because it's like, oh, was he a monster? Was he a human? Ooh. Yeah. And then they went and made a few others. This one, when you needed and here's the thing, the ending is non-conclusive in this movie. I will tell you the actual meaning of it, though.
Okay.
but it was just getting to it.
It was drawn out, that's for sure. So basically, they're setting the entire encampment on fire with Molotov cocktails. We got dynamite. We got regular grenades. That pretty much happens. Childs is the one by himself, so they think he might be a thing. Turns out maybe he's not. Don't really know. I don't think he is.
He's not.
He's too cool.
He's not. There's a rule from the last movie that dictates he's not.
Okay. So yeah, the thing. When he puts his hand into the sheriff's face, that was really cool. I liked that. And then he dragged him like away, and he's all goopy and gross.
I think that was, if I remember correctly, the whole putting the things into the skin. I think that was from Halloween 3.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
I think that was towards the beginning of Halloween 3.
Okay.
Like right at the beginning, which is great because Halloween 3, great movie. You will never hear me shit on that movie. I love that movie. Either way, he kills one. The other one gets killed off screen.
Yeah.
The cook gets killed off screen. However, the fact that the cook made it to the final 3,
Shocker.
surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, McCready's like, hello. And then he sets off a dynamite. The thing comes through the floor. His tentacles come up, suctions the detonator, comes out. It's disturbing looking. It looks amazing.
God, yeah. It looks
You will
really
not.
good.
This is like what that baby from Hellraiser wanted to be.
Yeah. Or if you've seen Akira, the animated movie, yeah, this is very similar.
And then, I will say, I do love Kurt Russell's line of "Yeah, fuck you too," and just throws it.
And then we get an amazing sequence of explosions where this is where the most of the budget went.
The best way I can put it is these last 10 minutes of the movie is, hey, instead of tearing the set down, what if we just blow it all up?
I think we'd all have a lot more fun, and it will look really cool on camera, so let's just do it.
We go inside the building. We put a fucking dynamite stick into every individual room with a door.
Love it.
Blow it up. We blow up the entire thing at the end. Dozens of mushroom clouds.
It's great. It looks really
So much
good.
mushrooms. And then Kurt Russell's like, this was a bad idea. We probably shouldn't blow up those buildings.
He's basically frozen to death. He has his little Smirnoff. He looks like shit.
And then Childs comes and he's like, hey.
It's just us now.
I'm also cold.
I got lost in the snow.
My favorite part, I will say, before we get to the ending, I want to say my favorite part of this entire movie was before we started recording, we were talking about gas stations. Don't ask us our conversations, please. Don't ask us how we hit certain topics. We're weird like that. Somehow we were talking about gas and how certain gas stations where we are just don't exist. And one of them we brought up was Chevron. You brought up was Chevron. Right at the beginning of the movie, there's a gas tank with a giant, clear as day Chevron logo, and it says Chevron.
I'm like, oh, there it is, all the way up in Antarctica. I gotta go get it.
Sorry, Kurt Russell killed it all.
Oh,
Great.
dang.
I guess my gift cards are fucked now.
But please explain the ending to me.
So, a lot of people thought, oh, Childs is a thing. Well, in the Mary Elizabeth Winstead movie, 2011, The Thing. No relation.
Sure, okay.
It's found out that the thing can it can copy anything that's organic, but can't copy anything that's inorganic. So the way they figure out in that movie is the guy has some metal cavities. Mm-hmm. Like he has some caps, but it can't duplicate caps because it can't duplicate artificial like metal. So if you saw at the end, Child still has an earring in.
Oh, so okay, that's the tale.
It couldn't be Childs.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. However, Childs does die
Oh.
through the hypothermia.
Oh.
That's because of the video game, The Thing, that released for like PS2.
Man.
That's canon.
Dang it.
He dies. McCready gets out, but it's like it's never told if he ends up becoming a thing or not.
I would like to think that he does.
Yeah.
Because he was my guess the entire time. Because I'm like,
I can't believe how just bummed you were. You're like, I think it's McCready, and then you put the thing in his blood. You're like, oh.
I wanted to see crazy Kurt Russell.
I want to see like if Kurt Russell's the thing, and it like something happens when like it's getting fused with him.
Oh yeah.
So that thing just ends up being fucked up, and it goes to like a thing party, and all the other things are like, what the fuck is wrong with it? Listen, I know we say we don't kill our own, but that thing needs to go.
It was a mercy kill. But
I just want a thing where Kurt Russell's thing is like ostracized by the planet of things.
with his hat.
It was like, listen, I can't do anything organic, so I took his hat. That was my trophy.
But then, yeah, it ends very abruptly. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we end on the really nice, very simple but very effective soundtrack.
This movie has been brought to you by Smirnoff.
And Chevron. Oh,
Chevron was like, listen, if you're going to get these many gas cans from us, can you please just put our logo
Just
in it
once.
and make it very apparent it's Chevron?
Oh, shit.
Oh, man, the amount of Smirnoff in this movie
It's cheap.
was insane.
It's easy. It gets the job done. Smirnoff.
It is. My favorite one is what he's doing with the recording and he's drinking and he's just like, I haven't slept. Somebody put some nasty ass clothes in the kitchen, so one of us is the thing, I guess. None of us trust each other. And like, while he's talking, he's like slightly slurring his words, and I'm like, oh god, his blood is smeared off. Because he doesn't stop drinking. From the first shot you see him, he's drinking. To the last shot you see him, he's drinking.
Yeah.
Smirnoff.
But that was the movie. Let's cut it here, and then we'll do the movie roundup.
Can I say one thing real quick? One of the things named is called the Blair thing. The Blair thing. And I'm like, so is that like if the Blair Witch and the thing had a child, if this becomes the Blair thing? We'll see you in the movie roundup.
Okay, this is the movie roundup.
Roundup?
Yes. Safe to say, I think we both really like this movie, but I'll speak for myself here. Again, practical's really good. Soundtrack, when it's used, when it's not used, both very good. Acting, set design is holy shit out of this world. And I didn't talk about it because we kind of sped through it, which is totally fine. But there was a lot of light color play. So a lot of different tones and like playing with warm and cold lighting was really nice. It's definitely more apparent at the end. But that's always really nice to see. There's not much to say bad about this movie. Yeah, the ending, not the most agreeable. It is a very slow buildup of a movie. But overall, pretty good. I'd probably give it about 8.5. I think I'll go with 8.5. Maybe 9. 8.5. Somewhere around there.
My favorite part is where you were like, the acting, the set design was great. I was like, what was that? What, you say the acting sucked?
No, the acting was good.
Some of the actors, I will agree, they weren't the best.
Right.
But
for the most part.
This movie, I will give it. Here's the thing. I hate the ending. When I say like the ending, I mean the final sequence. I hate the final sequence. However, I don't think it's enough for me to like super detract from the movie. It's basically enough to be like, I can't give you a 10 because I really don't like it. I would probably give it like a 9.
Okay. Still
9.5.
really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That thing is a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's 148. It's 2 hours. You treat that as though it's a 2-hour movie. Every movie we have done this far that was 2 hours Silent Hill.
Shut up. Never again.
Listen, here's the difference. When we did Silent Hill, we were... Listen, this movie, here's the thing. The thing had 3 acts. It's definitive. It had 3 definitive acts.
Absolutely.
Silent Hill had 6 acts.
And we checked.
It was 2 movies.
We checked every 10 minutes. How far more? How much more do we need? It's only been 10 minutes? Okay.
Well, that wasn't bad for us. The moment it got bad for us, I remember this so well, too. The moment it got bad for us was they got to the hotel, and we were like, oh, this is definitely the final act. Because, because we would talk about this hotel. We got the hotel. We were 43 minutes into the fucking movie. And you and I both jaw dropped because we didn't check the time to that time. We were like, we've only been watching this for 43 minutes.
And see,
this hasn't been 78 minutes yet.
Exactly. So that's a huge difference, right? That's a good thing to bring up is it has definitive 3 acts. It is a slow film, but it's paced so well. And that's very hard to do.
Like when we watched Silent Hill, we talked to each other so much because we were just like, we talked to each other. We were on the internet. I remember that scene very well because you were like looking up fun facts about the movie as we were in a flashback for 20 minutes. This movie, we talked at the beginning when it was like kind of setting stuff up.
Yeah.
But we really didn't. Once we got to the interrogation scene is what I would say. The dog, it started getting less and less talky, but once we were in the interrogation scene, the only time we talked was when I got an ad on Tubi.
Yeah, and we had to pause, and that's it.
Yeah,
but
that was like all the time we talked.
I'm pretty invested in the movie when I'm leaning forward and I have my blanket.
Yep. So, it's an easy 2 hours.
Yes.
Enjoyable. Which is hard to say about other movies you've ever watched. Because, like, I'll acknowledge it. Like, usually when a movie's over 95 minutes, we get a little bitchy.
Yeah, we get antsy.
Yeah. You have to be really good to be 95 minutes over 95 minutes and us to like you still.
And the key to that is good pacing and understanding how your movie is going to start, and finish at a good pace.
And you can get away with campy acting if that's the thing. Because this movie has campy acting, but you got away with it.
I am the first person to say I love camp. I think when it's done well, it's done so well. It's so worth it sometimes. But yeah. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
This concludes season 2. I'm stating it now. This is the end of season 2.
Yeah, it's the end of Monsters, guys.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is probably the monster of all the monsters we've watched.
Yeah.
I know some of you are probably like, didn't they do, like, Scream and, like, these, like, other movies? Okay. And we're like, shh, listen.
We need to take breaks sometimes. We need to have little treats for ourselves.
Most of the time, it's been monsters. What do you acknowledge? It's been monsters. This is, like, the king of monsters. The literal monster at the end is a human with, like, a human half face, a chomper face on the side, and a dog body comes out of the stomach.
Yeah, I don't
Super monster.
I really don't think there's anything that could beat this.
Yeah, but this leads us to season 3, the season of doing whatever the fuck we want. Because here's the rules from here on out: seasons are no longer themed.
They're just
basically 1 year will be a season.
Yeah.
So from late November 2023 to the beginning of November 2024. That's season 3. Season 4 starts. Oh, sorry. Yeah, season 4 will start at the end of 2024.
Yada yada yada. So
yeah, we're just doing what we want because we've learned. Here's the thing: we were miserable for a very long time.
I'm looking at you, Friday. I'm looking at you, Hellraiser.
Yeah, see, that's where it was. There was this time period. It started a little bit during the movie of Home Invasions. It got a little... There was like... Your Next was there. We loved Your Next. But then it was like... Ugh. And then the Christmas movies, they were fun, but we weren't really in love with them. And then we did Hellraiser.
And we hated our lives.
We took a 3-month break.
Yeah.
And then eventually, towards like, after Scream, we just started doing what we wanted, and we actually really enjoy recording again. So
I think to save
we're just
us,
gonna do what we want.
Yeah, and save the podcast is we'll just do what we want. And
Speaking of what we want next is Evil Dead, the original.
I'm so in love with Bruce Campbell.
Followed by Evil Dead 2, and then rounding out the year, Evil Dead 3, and then beginning 2024, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Because why not? I get 3 movies, and then RJ gets 1.
It's a one-off. It's on Peacock. I have Peacock. You have Peacock.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll do it. But
and that will be followed by The Nun 1 and 2.
Good God. Let's stop while we're ahead. Thank you for joining us for our last episode of Season 2 Monsters at Movie and a Haunt, which we can be found on Spotify as Movie and a Haunt and YouTube as Movie and a Haunt. Shocker. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you for Season 3. And have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
5 innocent people killed. Not a sign of a human